Hello, this is Tom Stokoe, a Newcastle United fan. So sit back and pour yourself a bottle of brew ale, because you're listening to the EPL show. Away the lads.
Who is most deserving of all the money that I, Zlatan, am paid? The answer is Zlatan.
He's in impeccable shape. Impeccable.
He's 41, dude.
He's 41.
Dude. Okay, look at this.
Is he?
And look at me.
Hello and welcome back to Club Football, the EPL show. If you ever watch the game sitting on the toilet or on the train or next to your boss when you're pretending to work, then we're just like you, and this football podcast is just for you. I'm Tom Hughes, and this week, unfortunately, Jack, my brother, my partner in crime, my soulmate, my absolute bestie, he's not feeling too well, so he's going to sit this one out. But don't worry, we've got Mr. Greenlight himself.
American John.
He's the third of his family name. He's John Sharkey the third. How's it going, John?
Yes, it's great. How you doing, Tom?
I'm glorious, John.
You look good. I can see you over the Zoom call. You look healthy. You look happy, and all's going good for you.
Yeah, I've been getting up. I've been doing a 5-mile run. Oh, John, you look brilliant.
Did you really?
No, did I? No.
I actually started running again this week. I
Big
hate
runs?
running.
Yeah, I
Not
don't like
big.
running.
I hate it. Like, I absolutely loathe it. But
What does it look for you? How far will you go?
I don't know. I don't use one of those apps, like people love posting their, hey, look, here's a little red line I ran around my neighborhood 600 times. No, I live in a cul-de-sac, and then it's like got like a ring road off of it. I run around that thing 3 times. And by run, I mean, like, most of the time it's hobbling or walking really fast while like an old lady is laughing at me watering her garden.
Yeah.
But I still feel good after I do it. So, that's the important thing.
I've got to try, man. I've got to start shaking or moving. My cousin Remy, who listens to the show, she did the intro a couple of weeks ago. Over Christmas. She's a PT.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if you're looking for a personal trainer who does online, she does online as well. Have a look at Remy. So she tried to give me a couple of tips over Christmas, and trust me, it fell on deaf ears.
I was going to say it went nowhere. Yeah. It fell in the toilet is where it
fell. Yeah, I was pretending to listen to Remy, but really, like I went to shop before to buy some chicken because we're cooking healthy, and I bought Chelsea and I a chocolate bar. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't know if that's on the list that she gave you. I don't know if buy a chocolate bar is on the list that a PT would give you.
Well, I think she sort of says everything within
moderation.
I was thinking commodity.
Even heroin?
I don't think you're supposed to do heroin in moderation. I think it's one of them things you either have none of or a lot of, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
But look,
that's kind of like they say that when you run, you feel like you're on heroin afterwards, though.
Is that what they say?
I don't know.
Certain PTs in Perth might.
I'm joking.
Big thanks to Tom Stokoe, who did the intro for the show this week. He's obviously a big Newcastle fan and a big advocate of the podcast. And I know he does posting things on Facebook, which is awesome, and just says to people, hey, look, there's a footy podcast here. Give it a crack.
Thank you, Tom. I love you.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's really appreciated. It really is. Tom says nicer things about this podcast than what my mum does. And that's fair. That's fair enough. She's got 2 sons who do it. So thanks very much for that. Okay, John, why don't you tell us who we've got on the away day playlist this week?
Well, when you brought this one up, I was rifling through my my old clothing bag the other day.
Oh yeah, is that like a go bag in case the missus gives you the boot? Is it?
Oh no, it's just like t-shirts that I'm hiding from my wife that I, because I have I'm a grown man. I have a t-shirt addiction and
t-shirt
and a football jersey addiction, so I have to, hide a lot.
John,
I'm kidding.
John and I quite regularly send links to random football shirts from history that we both quite like. And you can buy them online for like $500. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't pulled the trigger on many, just a few. But no, I found an old Stone Roses shirt that I had because I went to go see them in 2016 when they did that reunion tour, and they played in Dublin, and I was over in Dublin at the time. It was possibly the best show I ever went to. I don't know if I told this story before, but we had to scalp tickets for it, and
So that's like
when
a
we were
that's like a ticket out to people back home.
seriously, yeah, exactly. We were buying tickets from somebody on the street, and they weren't trying to like, you know, rip us off. They're like, "Oh, we have a ticket. It's 40 euro. That's what we paid for it." And then in the middle of the conversation, a cop walks up and like puts his arm in between us, and he goes, Are you trying to scalp some tickets here, son?" I was like, "Oh man, god damn." We drove all the way up from Waterford to go to it. I was like, and then the cop's like, No, stop." And he pulls tickets out of his jacket, and he's like, "Here, someone gave these to me to give away. You can have them." I was
Wow.
like, "Yeah, okay. This is a little different than what cops in the United States do."
Yeah.
But okay. And then
Yeah.
he told us to go across the street to the Spar because they were selling this cheap like Czech beer. He's like, "If you go across to the Spar, they're selling 4 packs of 16-ounce Czech beer. You can drink 2 each on the way in because the line takes forever."
What a cracking fella.
I know, it was unbelievable, but we did it. Me and my wife walked across the street, got the beer. We downed 2 each on the like long snake because it was at Marley Park. I don't know if you've ever been there, but there's this long snaking run that kind of leads you into the field where the gig was. And we were just pounding beer, and as soon as we finished them, bam, like the crowd opened up and there was the stage. It was incredible. I'm still not convinced that dude was a real cop.
No, he might
I
not
think he
have
was
been.
just dressed as a cop.
The
I think-
Garda.
The Guardy. Hey, I have a Guardy. My uncle's a Guardian Burr.
So
yeah,
what's your
that
song
show-
for the away day playlist, John?
Sorry, it's Elephant Stone. Elephant Stone by the Stone Roses. It's such a banger. They played it that night.
I don't know that
I,
song. That's
huh?
great. I don't know it.
It's one of their singles. It's not on the LP. So it's a
Cracking.
banging song. They played it. I felt like I was on ecstasy. I was definitely not. But it was a fantastic show. So many bucket hats. I mean, I think I took a photo of like 400 bucket hats.
Yeah,
So.
it's a proper bucket hat sort of band, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, 100%.
Stone Roses, The Lars, Oasis.
Yep.
Who else? Yeah, proper bucket hat in it. Jack and I went
Frank
to see
Sinatra.
Liam Gallagher last year,
Yeah.
and it was bucket hat central.
Yeah,
Mate.
Bucket Hat City. Yeah,
Yeah.
people, motherfuckers love running
It
on a
was,
bucket hat.
man. It was proper bucket hat.
All right, but that's my pick. Sorry.
Great.
I did.
No, I love it. I love it. I've never been to the Stone Roses either. They're a band who I'd love to see. So yeah, that's the away day playlist. We've got it once a week. We just basically add belter songs on there that you can have a listen to when you're bored or pretending to do the grouting. All right, John, let's have a look what we've got coming up on today's show. We've got a bit of a get to know you with John, which I'm quite looking forward to. John's from Philly, and I'm not, so I'm quite interested to hear a little bit about what it was like growing up in Philly. It's a return to the Maverick series where we're talking about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We've got the World Roundup with Courtney. How's it going, Court?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We've got your thoughts and questions from the Quickfire Forum. Pachoo, pachoo. Then we've got a return of the ridiculous quiz, Who Knows I Know, but this week it'll be aptly named Who Knows John Knows, and then we'll look ahead to a little bit of football. It is FA Cup weekend this weekend, which sadly means Liverpool have a break. We're going to go to a quick break in just a second, but we cannot move on without talking very, very quickly about the Premier League this week. And I'm going to do it as quick as I can. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm very ready to get through this week without even thinking about it very much.
Liverpool got beat again by
Yeah.
Wolves. Shocking. Everton struggling. Got a new manager, Sean Dyche. They beat the Arsenal. Man U won, even though Casemiro tried to get GBH with his hands around someone's outrageous.
That wily Casemiro.
He's just brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And then what else happened? Tottenham beat Man City as well, which was a big
Yeah,
story.
I know. Everything fell our way perfectly.
Yeah.
All the
Perfect
misery
for us to win,
dominoes.
wasn't it? It was
my
perfect
God.
for Liverpool to win this weekend, and
Yep.
it's just depressing. The transfer window obviously has lapsed. We didn't
Yep.
sign anyone.
We didn't sign anybody. Not
No,
one midfielder.
no.
You could have signed me. I would have come and played.
I could do 10 minutes in the midfield.
Yeah, put us out there for a little bit. We'll do better, than
Yeah,
I don't know. Surely I could cover, somebody for 10 minutes. I'm not that winded. I said I've been running lately, so, I've been training. So I was hoping I would get the call, but nevertheless, no.
well, that's what we need at the
Snubbed
minute,
again.
John. We need legs, don't we? We need
Uh-huh.
legs.
We need runners right now. We don't need
Yeah, we
technical players. We need someone that's going to go and bowl. Just
bit of
run.
a bulldozer.
Exactly. Bowl people over.
Uh,
I'm trying not to swear because I know we only get one F, so that's why
yeah.
I was inarticulate.
Well, I think we
But-
get 3 between us, don't we? Because Jack's not fucking here this week.
It's true. There you go. Oh,
There's
what
Jax.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Poor Jack.
I know. He's
Is he
under the
okay?
weather. Yeah, he's just under the weather, man. He's just battered.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
he's
good.
all right though. I spoke to him. He's okay.
Because he's already had the spicy cough twice. So,
Yeah, he's been unlucky with it, hasn't he? But
yeah,
he's doing okay. We've just got to wrap this kid up in cotton wool. You know what I mean?
it's
At
true.
the end of the day, he's the rocket ship that this podcast's hanging on to. So,
Yep.
you know what I mean? He's the talent, obviously. No, but look, yeah, no, Jack's doing okay. Man
That's
City,
good.
Man City. John, I've played at Tottenham's new stadium 5 times,
Yeah.
and they haven't won once, and I don't think they've scored.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a funny stat because that's like such a Tottenham stat too.
Yeah.
They'll hold Man City to 0 wins at their own ground, but then they'll go and lose to, I don't know. They'll lose in like the FA Cup to like Plymouth or something like that.
That's why they're Tottenham, isn't it?
It's true.
That's why they're Tottenham. I swear to God, I remember before the Champions League final in Madrid, I remember we beat Barcelona, I think, on the Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And Ajax played Tottenham in the Amsterdam Arena, or the Johan Cruyff Arena.
Mhm.
And Mora scored that last-minute goal for Tottenham to send them through. And everyone's going mental. And I'm just sitting there going, nice one. Nice one. That's ours, that cup. That's ours, that
Yeah,
cup.
I know. I was really worried that Ajax would get through. Honestly, I remember being like, "Oh, God damn it! This is like this." There was such a team that could have pipped Liverpool that year.
Yeah, they could have done.
They could have done anything they wanted actually, but it was perfect.
Yeah,
we were
was-
gifted the Champions League.
it was Kismet. And then obviously
Yeah, it was-
old mate Divock Origi popped up, didn't he? So look, that sort of. Oh, and one more sort of. Pardon me. I'm drinking slow gin and tonic, which I'm sure is 2 weeks old. The Jesse Marsh got sacked as well
Yeah,
this week for Leeds, which is tough going, really. It's sort of hard to do it up there, isn't it? But he has spent 150 million,
yeah.
and
mean-
it's not worked for him. Poor Jesse.
And tomorrow they play Man U tomorrow, so I don't know.
So that's a comeback win, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what always happens, isn't it? You sack your manager.
so Man
and
U's
some-
definitely losing tomorrow.
Yeah, put your house on Man U to lose tomorrow.
Yep,
And
$100.
and old mate as well. The man who scored the most goals in the history of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, Harry Kane, has broke Jimmy Greaves' record.
Yeah,
What a legend he is there at that club, man. They've got to keep hold of him. If they've got any chance of success, they've got to keep hold of Harry Kane.
yeah.
And to be honest, part of me just wants him to stay there because it's quite nice for football. We don't get it often as fans where a player stays forever.
It's true. That is nice. A one club man is always a good thing, But I don't know.
I just
Yeah,
don't
but-
want in 10 years when Harry Kane's a pundit and it comes up his little banner and it says Harry Kane, 320 goals. Yeah. And then it goes
Yeah.
next to Graham Souness and it says Graham Souness, 3 European Cups, 6 league titles. And then it goes
Yeah.
Gary Neville, 2 European Cups, 6 league titles. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't be there,
know.
Harry. Don't be in that boat, mate.
Do you think Harry Kane's got what it takes to be a commentator? Have you heard him speak publicly?
No,
It's not pretty.
I know, but I didn't think Jamie Carragher had it either.
Yeah, well, Carragher's got a nice voice though.
Oh,
He maybe wasn't he wasn't as smooth as butter at first, but I mean, he definitely could, I don't know, form sentences. I don't know if Harry Kane's got that in him. He's definitely a football guy. I'll tell you that.
He's a football man.
He's a footballer, very monosyllabic. That's fine. Words aren't for everybody. Not everyone can be Charles Bukowski, but I don't know. I just don't see it in the crystal ball over here that Harry Kane is going to be having willingly have a microphone in his face on the weekends.
Imagine he goes and retires, gets his coaching badges, and goes and wins everything as a manager. And I mean everything.
That would be nice for him.
It'd be great. But look, I think he's only 28. He's got time, hasn't he? He's got time.
He's got time to sign for Man City, so it doesn't matter.
He'll be all right, won't he? He'll be all right. He'll go to Man U. He'll go to Man U.
You think so?
I think. Well, I don't know if he'll go there, but I think United will be trying to get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
You don't think he would ever cross the park and go over to Arsenal?
Well, he was an Arsenal fan, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think that would be kind of a cool story if he crosses the proverbial picket line.
Like Sol Campbell did. Didn't go down well, did it?
Exactly. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Sol Campbell, yeah.
So that would be an interesting thing to talk about on the podcast. One week would be to talk about players who cross the border, so to speak. And go and play for your rivals. Let's keep that one written down. Yeah. Right, let's go to a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to be just talking to John about what it was like to grow up in Philadelphia, which I'm sure you at home would also find quite interesting. Go and get yourselves a drink. We'll see you after the break.
Hello everybody, it's me, Courtney Paul. Don't forget to go on, give the podcast a subscribe on YouTube, or you can go on there on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast. Give the boys a follow, make sure you rate the podcast. Again, it's me, Courtney Paul, not Tom doing a Cockney accent. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Okie dokie then, we're back. How's it going, John?
I'm great.
Are you ready for the story of your life?
I tell it every day, really.
Tell it to yourself every day, but in a more positive light.
When you're a foreigner, you have to tell your story every day. I've realized. So what brings you to Canberra? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
No. So
let's go back. Let's go back to when you were little John.
Little John.
You're obviously like obsessed with sports.
Yeah, I do like sports.
Was football, was soccer on the agenda when you were younger, or was there other things going on?
To be honest, I wanted to play soccer so badly when I was a kid, like 3 or 4 years old. I'd mentioned on the show before, I had one of those World Cup balls with all the teams on it.
Yeah.
It was just so kind of out of the realm of where I lived. I didn't know much about it, but I thought it would be fun to play. And my dad was not cool with it in so many words. He wanted me to play, baseball, basketball. I wasn't allowed to play NFL, gridiron.
So he wasn't massive on the big contact sports then?
No, he wasn't a contact sport guy, but he loved hoops, and I was quite good at baseball, so he kind of funneled me towards that. I was I was a very chubby kid, so I was kind of like a fat slugger,
Yeah.
Like a little So I was good at that. I would hit balls that most kids would be able to run around the bases 3 or 4 times, and I would still just make it to third base.
Yeah, you were
so slow. I was terrible.
So what about
that was kind of my.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. What about footy then? When did you start getting into football properly?
I played a season of indoor soccer when I was a kid, and I was like, "This is fun," but again, my parents really wouldn't take it seriously. Like that. This was in the late '80s. A lot of people, especially my parents, are working class Philadelphia people. You really can't. They're not. I'm not going to say they're known for being open-minded.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
It wasn't until in my 20s when a friend of mine kind of introduced me. See, the thing in America, like you could get up at 7 in the morning and go drinking, and it would be totally acceptable if you went and watched a soccer game or like a football match. I hate the term soccer game now. That's how you said it. Let's go watch a soccer game. You sound like such an American rube, but that's what we used to do. We used to go to, there was a bunch of pubs in Philadelphia. There was the Dark Horse, which was the West Ham pub. And then,
It even sounds like a West Ham pub, doesn't it? The Dark Horse.
Yeah. It was pretty rough. Lots of skinheads. All the Philly skinheads would go and watch West Ham games there. And, we would go to places like Fido, which was kind of like a chain Irish pub, but in the city. They would open up early for matches, and we'd go. And I was like, you're telling me I can get up at 7 and drink for like 3 hours and then eat a bunch of food and then go home and fall asleep, and then we can do it and then I can start drinking again at 4 p.m. This is perfect. It was what I was exactly looking for in my 20s. And there were only 4 teams you could watch in the States at that time because there wasn't big broadcast deals. It was Chelsea, Man U, Arsenal, and Liverpool. And I hated the 3 other teams.
Yeah.
And I thought, I didn't have any friends that were Liverpool fans. It was just, oh, you'll never walk alone. That sounds hard as fuck. That is what's up. And, me and a friend kind of we gravitated towards Liverpool. And then it just kind of, it took over like all of my sports obsessions do. It just took over a large portion of my attention span. And by the time, my son was born, I was a lunatic for it. I would take him to the pub as soon as he got old enough in the morning. So it went from drinking Guinness all morning to drinking coffee and like splitting a breakfast with him. But it was
a good excuse to still go out and watch the football.
It was great. We would get up and take the train into the city and, get out of my wife and the daughter's hair for a little bit, a few hours. Liverpool were quite good when he was that age. Yeah, it was perfect timing. But yeah, it was great. I've been, an obsessive lunatic as well, even here in Australia. The deal. We have to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah.
If
we're lucky, it's 7 a.m.
Yes, if we're lucky, it's 7 a.m. And then I'm like, my kids are I'm going to school. I'm getting beaten over the head by my kids. I'm trying. It's like impossible, but you got to be a real lifer if you want to do it down here.
And what about like when you started going to watch the footy in the pubs and stuff? How is football looked at in Philly? Is there a lot of love for it, or was it sort of seen as a niche?
It's a niche thing, but it was a cool niche thing. It wasn't uncool to like football. You were really cool if you had like a Man U top or a Liverpool top. It was kind of like a sign of sophistication. Oh, maybe he's been overseas. He likes something different,
Yeah.
And I grew up in the hardcore punk scene, so that has a lot of connections to, like football music in England and football hooliganism kind of, there's a lot of cross section there. So it was a very cool thing to do, was to get into a football team, and I think I'm still certain I picked the coolest one, but it was always really fun. You'd get up, and it was a pretty good approximation of what it's actually like in Europe. They would sing the songs and slam their pint glasses on the table, and I saw a few things fly across the room a few times. It got pretty hairy, but it was a niche thing, but you felt like you were kind of, a little ahead of the curve if you were in English football. It was cool.
Like obviously, like Jack and I, we grew up in Liverpool. Like we never really had a choice. With football. Me dad's obsessed with football. My mum sort of, as she got older, sort of softened with football. But she knows her stuff, don't get me wrong. She's been to more cup finals than me and things like that, So it was always sort of, we were going to be football fans. anyway. You know, we were going to love football. We were going to play football. What's it like to? Is it hard to grow an association with a team when you're so far away? And I
little bit,
I guess a lot of people will understand this who are from
Yeah.
Australia, from America as well.
It's true. Well, in the States, there's always every city you go to. Like I used to be in, a touring band, so this was a fun thing to do on weekends. You'd search out the local Liverpool supporter group chapter, and every major city had one. There's a huge one in Austin, Texas. There's a big one in New York. There's a huge one in Philadelphia. So every city you go to, there was a big one in Houston. So you'd go around to these cities, and you just kind of would find out, and you make connections that way, and then. My wife is she's Irish, so every one of her cousins, like I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but all of her cousins, they're Liverpool supporters because that seems to be the thing to do in Ireland. But
yeah, there's not many. I mean, Irish Steve is obviously a big Arsenal fan, but
yeah,
most
he's a traitor.
most yeah, he's a class traitor. But most of them who you speak to over there, they're either Liverpool or Man United, aren't they?
Man U, yeah, because they all took the ferries over to Man U or to Manchester or Liverpool, so there's a big connection there. But no, it was cool. You felt like you were in a little inn club. There were people that liked it. It wasn't super niche. Liverpool's still one of the biggest clubs in the world. Man U was by far the most supported club in Philadelphia. I can tell you that when Liverpool would play Man U, that those matches would get a little heated and chippy at the pub. I've definitely gotten threatened, have my legs broken.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was like, I can remember the game. It was early in the 2013 season. We beat Man U 1-0.
Daniel Sturridge,
yeah.
Yeah.
Early on that game, I got threatened with my boss. Someone said that they're a huge Man U supporter said he was gonna break my legs. I mean, he didn't. I didn't leave, and we won. So I'm gonna use one more swear word. Fuck him.
Yeah.
But like it would get a little heated. And Philadelphia is not known for its measured responses to anything. If you know anything about Philadelphia, it's a pretty rough and tumble town.
Yeah.
A hard, it's rapidly changing like every city in the world, but it's always been a pretty blue collar, tough town. You can't really there's not many flies on any of those people. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you can't really get more working class, can you, than Philly?
No.
We're just about to almost run out of time for this part of the recording.
Sure.
John and I aren't sitting together. We're in different places, so we're very much relying on Zoom. John, we've got like 30 seconds. Do you think that soccer will ever be the biggest sport in America?
It will definitely be bigger than hockey. It's almost there. It will never be the biggest sport. Yeah, because the NFL is just a behemoth. They suck up everything around it. But it has the possibility to be number 2 or 3, 100%.
Brilliant. All right. 100%. Well, look, I'm sure when you come back on, John, Jack will have more questions for you, and we'll delve a little bit into that a bit more. Let's have a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
All right, listen to me. All right, hello everybody. We're back.
Hey.
Hi, Tom. We're gonna jump right into the Maverick series. Where we talk about a football maverick, not a goose, not an Iceman, a maverick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Forgot about that.
And this week we're gonna talk about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I love this dude. I got to be honest with you. I don't know why he's not talked about in the same breath as Messi and Ronaldo.
Do you think he's that good?
Yes, I think he's that good. I think he maybe boxed himself in a little bit with how he handled himself. I love reading his quotes. I actually opened up all of the ridiculous quotes that he's had over the years. So I can see why maybe people didn't want to give him too much lip service.
Yeah.
Because he already had a pretty inflated ego. I mean, but the dude is like his career stats are insane.
Yeah.
What is it? 34 trophies. Okay.
Yeah.
570 career goals, including more than 500 club goals. I mean, he's insane. Like, how long has he been playing? You know, or how long did he? You know, like.
Well, I think he sort of got into the Mulder team when he was like 16.
Yeah.
And then I think he went to Ajax after that.
Yep.
And he's just been a success everywhere he's gone, apart from Barcelona.
Yeah.
Well,
that tends to happen sometimes.
It was a weird one, wasn't it? That Barcelona one. So there was a part exchange deal. I think Pep Guardiola wanted to move Eto'o on, I think, was the thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because he moved Eto'o on to Inter and he got Zlatan on a part exchange deal. Zlatan played number 9 and everything was going really well. I remember watching them early on in the season that year and they looked insane. And then Pep put him on the wing, I think, to make way for Messi.
Yeah, and he did not like that.
And he didn't like it, did he?
No, of course not.
It's hard to get like a proper understanding of what happened with that, but like I've read like 5 different articles about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and sort of no one sort of quite knows what happened with Pep, but I think one suggests that like he spat at Pep in the dressing room. Which I can sort of imagine.
I can imagine that too.
Happening.
I can see how Pep would drive Zlatan up the wall.
Yeah,
they seem like
can
oil and water.
I think Pep just wants you to come in and play his way, doesn't he?
Yep.
He doesn't
Shut
care.
your mouth. Pass the ball 6,000 times.
Yeah.
Nope. That's not going to happen.
He just wants his players to repeatedly do the same thing over and over and over again.
Over and over again. Burns
and
them out. Yep.
That's not Zlatan, man. That's not what he's about. He's never won the Champions League, John.
Yeah, that is true.
Does that hurt him in his
yes.
in his big claims that he's the best?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just fell. I don't know. Maybe he was a victim of circumstance. I don't know. You know, some people never win things. You know, like Cristiano Ronaldo never won a World Cup.
Not yet. I don't think it's over. I think he's still playing, isn't he?
What?
I don't think he's retired from international.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, he hasn't retired. I'm talking about, you know, even if he doesn't win a Champions League, I don't know if it diminishes his career that much. But I'm saying, like, people of the same breath as Messi, Ronaldo does not have a World Cup. He, you know, things like this will maybe reflect poorly on you, but I don't know. He's just such a character. And
he's brilliant.
Football needs more dudes like this. I know he's an arrogant shithead guy, but I kind of love that. You know, I'm as I get older, I kind of enjoy people like that step out of their lane.
But he's what? I think I haven't got it written in front of me, but I think he's 38.
Yeah,
I think so.
He is. I'll tell you right now.
He's in impeccable shape. Impeccable.
He's 41, dude.
He's 41.
Dude. Okay, look at this.
Is he?
And look at me. He is 3 weeks younger than, or I'm sorry, 3 weeks older than me.
Oh my Lord, John.
Holy shit.
And you're going for a little run in the morning and he's like...
Yeah. He's born October 3rd, 1981. That's 3 weeks before I was born. So...
That's disgusting.
Oh boy. I feel disgusted at myself now, actually. This is terrible. I should have never looked this up.
How do you think I feel? I'm 31.
You're right. He's 38. He's 38. You're right.
Oh, is he?
No, I'm just kidding. No,
I'm he is 41. Oh, no.
He's 41. No. He's 38. Yeah.
But fair play to them. Like, he looks like he could carry on. I think when he went to LA, you know, that's normally the time when players start to slow down, you know. And then he came back, didn't he, to play for Man U, won the Europa League, and I think he won the League Cup as well.
Yeah.
An absolute menace. And I seen a thing that when he left,
menace is an incredible word to describe him. Yes.
He's a menace.
A menace.
There was a rumor that Liverpool were going to go in for him when he left Man U. And I think Klopp actually said in a press conference, if he hadn't played for Man U, then maybe. You know, imagine Zlatan at Anfield, mate. He would be
incredible.
adored.
He would be adored.
He would be adored.
I don't know how useful he would have been at that point, but especially with the team around him.
Yeah.
But
But if you had Salah and Mane either side of you,
either side of him, that could have been interesting.
you'd be doing all right. But mate, Zlatan, an absolute hero. Remember when he got injured, and he said, I haven't got the exact quote, but he asked them about his recovery, and he said, oh, this is really poor. I should have this in front of me, but I've only just thought of it. When he said that he was a lion, and lions recover quicker than men. Calls himself a lion.
Yeah.
I remember the first ever time I seen Zlatan, like that I can remember anyway. And it was Liverpool Juventus in the Champions League in 2005.
Yeah.
And he was playing for Juventus, and he nearly scored a flick, like a Cruyff flick goal, and it hit the post. I remember thinking, oh my God, this guy's awesome. And he's done it. He's amazing. He's at AC Milan. He won the league last year. He's just still pulling down trees.
This is a good quote from him.
Oh, go on.
I'm just reading through a few of my favorites. Who is most deserving of all the money that I, Zlatan, am paid? The answer is Zlatan.
Is that him talking about himself in the first and third person?
He does it. If you just look up Zlatan Ibrahimovic quotes, they're all in the third person. This is another good one. No context, so I don't know what he's talking about. But it's one time I got dressed in all black, Rambo style, and took a massive pair of bolt cutters and nicked a military bike.
He does look like an assassin.
He does. He looks like
he could be a Bond assassin.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Bond.
100%. He's a Bond villain.
I absolutely love him. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I love him too.
I loved him in the Premier League because now he's playing in Serie A, we don't get all these little moments really.
You don't hear about that stuff. It doesn't come out of Italy, You
don't get so much of it, do you? But he's absolutely brilliant. Zlatan, welcome into the club, mate. John, let's top up our gin and tonic and beer respectively. Because Courtney has got the World Roundup. Go ahead, mate.
Hey guys, welcome back to the World Roundup. Now there's no Women's Super League on this week. However, in other women's football news, our Aussie legend Sam Kerr scored 5 goals in their game against Indonesia, where the Matildas managed an amazing 18-0 in their opening game of the Women's Asia Cup. This is particularly special as Kerr is now the highest goal scorer in Australia across both women's and men's. She's managed to get 54 goals for Australia, passing previous high scorer Tim Cahill's record of 50. And in La Liga, Athletic Club's Inaki Williams has the longest running streak of playing 251 games in a row. And this has unfortunately come to an end this week due to injury. And we had 4 draws in the A-League this week, with the biggest game being between the Central Coast Mariners and the Western Sydney Wanderers, as they sit 2nd and 3rd on the table. And the game between Macarthur and Western United resulted in a 2-2 draw, with a red handed out for a high leg to Macarthur. I recommend watching that on highlights. Despite all the draws, the Newcastle Jets managed to get away with a 4-0 win against Brisbane Roar, bringing the Jets up to 9th on the table. And top of the tables, Melbourne City drew 3-3 with Adelaide United in what ended up being a very bad game for Juande Protas Lopez, who broke his leg during the game. One of his teammates who was close by was in tears after the injury and reported hearing it snap in half. And that's all for the World Roundup this week. My name's Courtney. Now you're all caught up.
Courtney, thanks so much, kid.
Thanks, Court.
I was talking to Courtney this week. She was talking about the World Cup, the Women's World Cup coming up. But have you seen that they've expanded the they've changed the stadium for the first game of the World Cup. So it was going to be in that new stadium in Sydney, the 45,000.
Oh, yeah, the SFS, yeah.
And they've changed it now to the Olympic Stadium, which is
They moved it up.
80,000.
Yep. Yeah. It's going to be big, man. Because it sold out right away. I tried to get tickets a couple weeks ago and all you can get was wheelchair tickets. So they had to move it, I think.
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
It's Australia versus Ireland.
Oh, it's going to be
huge.
Oh, it's going to be class.
That's going to be nuts. So I'm trying to go up to that, and I'm trying to go. I think France plays in Sydney. Those are I'll probably only be able to get up to Sydney games. I might.
Yeah.
One of Johnny's teammates, my son, his dad is talking about doing a trip up to Brisbane, so we might do something like that. But I don't know.
Let me know on that one.
I will. I'll keep you fully abreast of my movements in July this year.
Please do.
I'm very excited.
Keep me abreast. Yeah, so look, we're gonna try and get ourselves down to some football.
Hell yeah.
Obviously this podcast is sort of just funded by ourselves and stuff, so we can't really be going and buying loads of match tickets and stuff, but
look,
we might just go down for the atmosphere.
If anyone wants to flow us some tickets, like if we have any rich donor listeners that want to fly us first class anywhere, you know, there's a few we can go. Well, I'll go to there's games in Wellington, you know, in Auckland. If you want to float us, you know, show us a good time. I'm always down for being, you know, doted upon, and I will always accept free things and free beer, and free tickets to. So
even if it's just
out there.
Even if it's just Sydney, you don't have to pay for the flights then. Just get us some tickets, couple of crates of beer.
Just buy us a Murray's bus, you know?
Yeah. Come on, guys. Get your hands in your pockets.
Yeah, we know you're out there. There's more millionaires than there ever were in Australia now. So it's time to pony up. This is actually the real redistribution of wealth that we're talking about at the socialist meetings. It's time to give me and my boy Tom here free stuff for the World Cup, Women's World Cup. Let's do this.
Let's
go.
That's all
I'm going to say about it. Let's see if it works.
Look, there's only 4 of us in club football. Come on, guys.
That can't be hard.
That can't be too hard. Come on, rich people.
No.
Come on,
Seriously.
rich people.
We're smart. We're fun. We're good, sort of good looking. You know, just have us around.
Yeah,
give us all of your money.
We are fun and smart, aren't we? Yeah. Right. Quickfire Forum then.
Let's do it.
Quickfire Forum is when people send in voice notes. Sometimes it's a message and it's questions or thoughts. So big fan of the pod, big supporter of the pod as well. Jake, Blue Nose, family friend, absolutely love this guy. He's having a terrible year because he's an Everton fan.
Sorry, Jakey.
Yeah, there's a lot of upset Evertonians in North Wales at the minute, Jake. So don't you worry about that, kid. Look, he sent in a voice note. Now, what I will say about this is because we had a week off last week, his voice note was sent before the appointment of Sean Dyche. So please take that into context a little bit, but I think it certainly sums up a lot of the vibe. Here's Jake.
All right, lads, and Courtney, obviously. Yeah, just a quick update on Everton and the protest at the moment. Yeah, it's been 7 years since Machete took over, and we're not doubting the fact that he's put money into the club. You know what I mean? He's made massive transfers. You know, we're gonna get a new stadium. Like, it's gonna be, you know, you can't fault him for that. But it's the decisions that he's made as a football owner. You know what I mean? It's just been the wrong one time after time. I think the only one right was probably Carlo Ancelotti, but obviously he's going to leave Real Madrid when they came knocking. But it's just they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what approach they want to be, like what type of club they want to be. Like you're seeing it with the latest, you know, manager choices with Sean Dyche and Marco Bielsa. Now Dyche has took over Everton, and I hope he does as well, obviously. But they're completely 2 different styles of football that they play. So they don't know what they want. You know what I mean? Like instead of us, we want a proper a fighting team, which Moyes gave us. You know what I mean? We had a proper identity of the club, and now it's just nothing. And you know, hopefully, Dyche it brings that back a bit, you know what I mean? Proper gets them working hard and fighting for the club and for the shirt. But it's just, everything's just wrong about the club where it's run. And, recently with the chairman getting into a headlock, and it's just lies as well. They brought lies about the club, making fans look bad. You know what I mean? That statement that they brought out, oh, they're not safe to be there. Like, you know what I mean? What? Of course they're safe. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do nothing around the football club without being filmed. So that wasn't filmed. It wasn't logged to the police. It wasn't, you know what I mean? So it's just lies, and it's gaslighting the fans, and it's worked onto the media. Ian Wright said on Match of the Day and all like that, and he's had to publicly apologise on his podcast and that. So it's just the complete toxic, just proper toxic between the fans now and the board, and it's proper separate. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't really want Lampard. It's not Lampard's fault. It's years of bad recruitment, and um, with no directness of what Everton want to be. You know what I mean? They're just giving managers, a year and a half, and just going, oh yeah, here's 100 mil, blah blah blah. Like, when Sam Allardyce come in, they gave him 50 mil to sign Czech Tosin and Theo Walcott. You know what I mean? So it's just, they have no idea how to run a football club, and it's just, we're almost getting relegated last year, and we're on the brink of it now. It's just shocking, and yeah, there's loads more, but there's been 3 minutes, so that's just a quick thing, and I'm going to bore, like, listeners are going to be bored, so I do apologise, but yeah, up to Toffees. And Tom, James Rodriguez was a brilliant signing, by the way. Like, he was injury prone, but he weren't our worst signing. Worst signing is spending 50 million on Gylfi Kidderson. You know what I mean? Like, there you go. So yeah. Anyway, enjoy the pod, lads. See you later.
Jake, mate, I think John, do we agree with Jake for a start?
I 100% agree with Jake. I love that Jake is angry, and I know he says that he surmises that people are going to be bored listening to his sentiments. I disagree.
Yeah.
I love hearing the voice of discontent in clubs. It's good. We got to give the voice to the voiceless. Everton should have a team that's, if Liverpool are the flashy big brother in town, they should be like the hard-nosed, just bash the shit out of you stepbrother of Liverpool. I think that should be what they do best. They should just get bruisers and brawlers. I love the Sean Dyche appointment. I love it.
Yeah, I think so.
Standing out there in the snow with his hard nipples in his shirt that's too tight. I love it. Angry. Dude looks like he's never smiled in his life. You know what I mean?
You know what I do like about this appointment? And I did say the other week about, I didn't say Sam Allardyce for the job, but I said someone like Sam Allardyce, a Sam Allardyce figure.
Yeah.
To come into the club. I think Jake will agree with me on this, is knowing Evertonians, they don't suffer fools. They've been messed around so much as a fan base.
Yeah.
My mate...
They're not going to get sold a false bill of goods. That's what you mean. They're not going to get the... Yeah, no, they're not going to be led down the primrose path. My
mate Adam, who I went to all the games with, he's a big red, but his dad is a blue nose, and he told us, in the 60s, Everton were the thing, Yeah. You had Alan Ball, they were winning titles. Liverpool brought in Bill Shankly, and things developed from Liverpool there. But Everton as a club are a massive football club, and I don't know if people understand this who aren't from Liverpool, but Everton are a big football club. Liverpool Football Club are global. Like, if you go, to a back alley street now in Algeria, where people are selling knockoff shirts, someone will have a Liverpool shirt.
Yep.
And it's not quite the same for Everton. It never happened, but they're such a big football club, and it's about time that they start getting treated like a big football club. So I just think the point I'm making is that I think Sean Dyche will understand that. I think he'll understand that the proper people, the working class people, and if he can get it right, he'll be onto something.
Yeah, I fully agree.
So after Jake sent the voice note where he obviously sounds gutted, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sounds really upset.
It sounds like he recorded it just after the defeat or something. Half time at the defeat or something.
Yeah.
Jake, trust me, mate, if we recorded this podcast just after the 3-0 defeat to Wolves, I'd be the same. All right. Brilliant, Jake. Thanks for sending in your voice note, mate. It was really appreciated.
Things are looking up, Jake.
Yeah, things are looking up, mate. Things are looking up. All right, and we got a question in from Michael, who he's a cracking lad. He's an absolutely cracking lad, and he loves the pod, and he's always there to give a little bit of positive feedback and sometimes a little bit of constructive criticism.
That's all right. We need that.
Michael had his birthday this week, so from everyone at Club Football, happy birthday, Mick.
Happy birthday, Mikey.
You're a cracker. A question that he sent in last week. How many goals will Haaland actually score? Let's give him a number. I
70.
think
No.
I think in the Premier League, I think Haaland will score 38
This year?
this season.
Yeah, this season. What's he at now?
I'm just double checking.
Yeah, because it's it's February.
I think he scored 25.
25. Jesus. Yeah, 38's pretty good. I mean, I know the number that people were touting is 40. I might stick with that. It doesn't mean they're going to win any more games with all those goals.
No, it's funny the way it's happened, isn't it? It's funny the way it's happened.
They got this goal scoring machine, but they're still losing weird games.
But I think it just sort of shows, doesn't it? Like, just because you've got an excellent player,
yep,
it doesn't mean it works.
Doesn't mean he fits the system. That was the big criticism of the signing anyway. Oh, sure, he might score 1 million goals, but is he going to do the other stuff that Pep wants players to do?
Yeah,
I don't think he is.
Like the balance,
or maybe he is, but maybe he's not doing it well. Yeah, it does seem like they're very top heavy now.
Yeah,
and it might not work long term. So keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. But so we've got 40 and 38.
Yeah, I think 40 though. And
either way,
like
I think
I said,
he breaks the record, doesn't he? He breaks Mo Salah's record.
It's true, 40, but still, a lot of them will be garbage time goals. It seems like a lot of that is going on with it.
There's a bit of that. There is a bit of that.
Yeah.
Like he's scored like, don't get me wrong, he has scored important goals. Like winning goals. Like every goal's important.
I'm not saying he's a bad player either. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
dude rules. I love him. I love watching him.
Yeah,
but
Harry Kane scores the winning goal.
Yeah,
Mo Salah scores the winning goal, and I think Man City fans right now would settle for Haaland to be on 15, but City to be 7 points up the table. Totally. But an absolutely brilliant player. Absolutely brilliant player. So yeah, there you go. That one was from Michael. Thanks very much, Mick. And again, happy birthday. And this one has come in, I think, from my mum, from Kazza. If you could make a club football kit, which team's kit would you use as a template? It's a great question.
It's a great question. So this is from your mother.
Yeah.
She came up with this question. This is a fantastic question.
Well, she must have heard us talking about it over Christmas.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question.
She's a fantastic
I thought about
woman.
it for a while today.
Go on then.
They fluctuate wildly season to season, but man, I love the Venezia jerseys.
Yeah, man.
Every year they're so flash. They're so nice.
Why did he do it so well?
They're Italians, They know what they're doing. They're Northern Italian too. So, they wear chinos to bed, you know what I mean? Like they sleep in that shit. So
I'm just
every
looking at
year,
the gold
it's just-
kit. Sorry.
I know right now it's just so even like their pre-match shirts are just so fly. They're so good. So I don't know. Yeah, I would if I could start a football club and hire the designers that they get to design jerseys and just the way it works. Like, have you ever looked at their socials?
No.
Like they just have it's almost like I can't. It's hard to even explain. It's art. It's very artistic. You know, it's very outside the
Stylish.
box for a football team. Just the way that they present themselves, like Helvetica font on a like green Helvetica on a solid orange background, just has the facts, nothing else. It's not flash. It's just so tasteful. I love it.
It's
Such
like
a cool team.
it's like the kits are designed by Gucci.
Gucci. I mean, like 100%. It looks like
That's the vibe, isn't it?
it is the vibe, yeah. And for football, I love ostentatious, wild, outrageous jerseys. As much as I love Liverpool with their solid red jersey this year, I love it. I think it's sharp.
I do love
it's
it.
very understated. I'll take a kind of like a boisterous, vibrant jersey any day of the week. I love it.
Well, I think as well, like I think we both love the Nigeria kits, don't we?
100%. All those all the African kits this year, and like all those old Nigerian kits, they're just so outrageous. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have one of these, Tom? What do you say for this one?
Well, I think sort of when we started the pod, we came up with the color scheme because of the Jack took the mick out of me for this last week, but we went with red and blue because we wanted a color that would represent Liverpool and Everton, and
Yeah.
so we had the purple, and then from the purple, I was like, okay, well, if we did ever make a kit, which, by the way, is genuinely on the cards here, I've
100%.
I've priced up a little bit.
Yeah. Good.
Having a look at.
I think I know where you're going with
kits.
this. When you say, as soon as you say purple, I think I know where this is headed.
Like, I have always loved a Fiorentina kit.
Ding, 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 ding.
Always loved a Fiorentina kit. I don't know why, but I've always loved the purple. And I think a couple of the like retro, like probably early 90s kits are really nice. But you know what? I absolutely love the Roma kits. The retro kits from Roma. Yeah, man, with a collar. I've always been a fan of a kit with a collar.
Roma and they're just great colors, like the maroon and the gold.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
They're nice.
Yeah, I mean, look where we are. Both of us chose. That's 3 Italian football clubs.
Yeah, they're
nice
onto
kits. Something there. They're onto something there, man.
They do nice kits. So maybe if people out there have got a sort of a reference for what they think would be a great club football shirt, predominantly using purple as the main colour, please do send them in. Like the shirt itself you send in doesn't have to be purple, but it could give us a really good idea because it's something that we're looking at the moment. We want to make some club football shirts. Really interested to see what you guys put forward. I love a good football kit, man.
My God, I'm looking at the 92 Fiorentina kit. Fiorentino, and it's the 7-Up sponsor. And it's got like the wild, almost like snowflake design that goes from the arms up over the chest. Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at that.
Yeah.
That's a really cool kit.
So good. I mean, the classic one is the Nintendo. Everyone loves that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many knockout kits.
Yeah, Fiorentina have just nailed it, and I can't see the year at the minute, but it's the 1990-2000 kit, Gabriel Batistuta.
Yep.
Era kit. It's so smart. So smart. But yeah, the Nintendo kit's cracking, man. The 98 home one. Oh, I'm gonna have to spend some money on some kits.
I know, man. We're gonna have to do this. Damn it.
$65.
You can get them cheap now because there's so many companies that make retro jerseys. So I mean, it's not going to break the bank, but
That's pretty good.
also if there's any jersey heads that want to just give us free jerseys, we also accept that along with free tickets. So
Yeah. Well,
we're easily bought off.
I was looking at Melba, which is I think a Spanish company, Melba. And
Melba.
They used to make the kits for Barcelona back in the days, and they're sort of have just started up again, I think, on a bigger scale. They've got nice kits.
I think they did a Barca retro kind of, or at least tribute to what they used to do. It's very nice. Fantastic. So there you go. There's a couple good ideas for that.
There's a couple.
Tom's
Guys,
mom.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
Incredible answer. It's an
Cheers,
incredible
Mom.
question.
John, you've got your game,
All right.
mate, this week. Who knows? John knows.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? John knows.
John knows.
John knows. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna ask a question. Tom came up with this game and I loved it. I was on a few weeks ago. So now I wanted to do it myself. These are pretty silly questions, but I think yours were also pretty ridiculous. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay.
All right. Who is my
I've
favorite?
got my pen and paper.
Okay, yeah, get your pen and paper. Sorry. Here we go.
Yeah.
So who is my favorite? Well, okay, Premier League era Liverpool player. Okay, Dirk Kuyt, Stevie G, Mo Salah, or Martin Skirtle.
You look a bit like Skirtle,
Don't I?
It's tricky, this, because
I know it's a hard one because I've put a couple like kind of cult heroes in there, and then two very, very prominent heroes.
Okay. I've got my answer.
You got it? Okay. All right. If I could live in any European city, would it be Paris, Venice, Marseille, or Dublin? What do you think my personality? You know my personality. Where do you think I would fit best?
I think that musically, I think that you'd smash it in Paris. Because there's a bit of a punk scene in Paris, isn't there?
There's a little bit of one, yeah.
There's a little bit of one. That's tough, man. This is tough. This is what a stupid game.
It's such a stupid game, but let's see how well you know. This is basically the dating game. It's one of those.
Yeah, it is.
We gotta see
Matchmaker.
how well we know each other. If you don't get at least 2 out of 3 of these, I mean, I'm not even gonna talk to you on the drive home.
He's gonna be Mr. Red Light. Yeah. Go on then.
All right, here we go.
Number 3.
And in honor of my beloved Philadelphia Eagles being in the Super Bowl this week, my beloved Eagles. Now you don't know anything about this, but I'm just gonna throw 4 names at you, and I want you to think who's John's favorite all-time Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. All right, there's flying Mike Vick, who left prison on dogfighting charges and redeemed himself and rehabilitated himself as a Philadelphia Eagle in the late 2000s. Then there was Nick Foles, the backup quarterback that won the Eagles' first Super Bowl. I have a lot of good memories about Nick Foles. Or was it Donovan McNabb? He leads the Eagles in many quarterback metrics, but he never won a Super Bowl. He couldn't do it. He actually threw up on the sidelines of a Super Bowl.
Oh God!
But still a beloved. Or Randall Cunningham, the most electric running quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. Okay, I've got my answer.
All right. All right. Let's go back to 1. Is it Dirk, Stevie G, Mo, or Martin?
You've got to ask the question in case people forgot it.
Who is my favorite Premier League era Liverpool player?
So this is a tough one, and
This is the hard one, yeah.
I'm going to say why I didn't pick the other ones.
Okay.
I think we both love Martin Skirtle for the same reason.
Yeah,
Hard as nails, turned up. Wasn't a great footballer, but he was there.
No,
He was solid. He was solid.
He was awesome, but
And Dirk Kuyt, the same.
Yeah.
He was there week in, week out. He scored some big goals, big moments. Always had a little bit left in the tank. And the
He
Kings
was early in my Liverpool love too. He was like
he was in
it was
that
always
time.
fun to watch. Yeah.
That's
That's why I threw a couple of these in there,
yeah.
This is a tough question.
I loved Dirk Kuyt. I think I was there for his debut. And I remember everyone saying he's a 20-20 man. He'll get you 20 goals, 20 assists. That's what everyone used to say. And then it was between Stevie G, who's the greatest player in the history of Liverpool Football Club, and Mo
Easily.
Salah, who will end his time at Liverpool with the most goals for the club, no doubt. And I know you love Mo, especially with your Egyptian connection as well through your family. But I've had to go Stevie G.
It was close. You had it with Mo.
Oh,
It was, but look, you analyzed it too well, so I'm still going to give you half a point for that one
thanks.
because all four players I love, but it really Mo Salah. It was like the dawning of my son's real love for the club too.
Yeah.
And he had something to he's like, oh, he could have something to attach himself to.
Yeah.
He could see himself a little bit in it. Because my son didn't really get dad's pasty skin and bald head. He's got his mother's beautiful, swarthy skin and incredible,
he's a good-looking lad, isn't he?
He's
a cracking-looking boy.
He's painful to look at sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's going to cause me a lot of bullshit, I know, over the years, but he'll get out of it because he's so good looking. But yes, Mo Salah by a hair.
Okay. And
All
question 2.
Yeah, if I could live in any European city, what would it be? Paris, Venice, Marseille, or Dublin?
Look, I won't go through all the answers, but it was a toss-up for me. I know that you've spoken about maybe one day living in like Provence or something in France.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit between Paris and Marseille, but I've gone for Dublin.
You're close.
Oh, no.
You're close. It was Paris.
Oh, no.
That's okay. See, these are hard questions.
These are good.
You're not, like, there's always a kind of an outlier. Like, Venice is the outlier. I don't want to live in Venice. Venice is cool.
No, you don't want to live there.
Marseille, though, I could live in Marseille. I could live in Dublin. I probably will live in Dublin. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I also locked in the fact that I told my wife this week. I was like, "Look, we are going to live in the Mediterranean when we retire. So you have no say in this." But that's like 25 years from now. So
yeah,
I'm not thinking about that. But yes, Paris would.
She's got 25 years to change her mind,
Yeah.
John.
Exactly. If I could live in any European city right now, it would be Paris, 100%.
Fair play.
All right. Who is my favorite Eagles quarterback of all time? Michael Vick, Nick Foles, Donovan McNabb, or Randall Cunningham? I know you don't have any frame of reference for this.
No.
But the way I described them, I want you to give me a crack.
I think for me, I think all of them I thought were very possible, actually. I thought that the guy who never won it might be it, because I think we both love that player who strives but doesn't quite make it. I think, you know what I mean?
See, now I think you're likening this man to Stevie G. I mean, yeah, Stevie G won the Champions League, but he never won a Premier League.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give you a little bit. I'll give you a hint. Donovan McNabb, not a Stevie G type.
Oh, okay.
Not a Philadelphia guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Very good. Played for the team for a decade. Not a Philadelphia guy. Stevie G was
A Liverpool guy, yeah.
I mean, you could not take it out of his being.
Yeah.
Well,
as he said, Steven Gerrard, he said, if you cut me open, I'd bleed red.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what he said.
I know.
That's what he said with no sort of irony.
I was going to say, I know. Yeah.
I went, we've got 30 seconds, John, before this Zoom record ends. I've gone with Vic.
It is Michael Vick.
Yeah,
You nailed it. He's my favorite. I love the redemption story.
That's sort of my redemption story as well, because I got none there and then I ended up with one.
Yeah, Michael Vick. He just also, again, like right around the time my son was born. It was a great story. It was good, warm feelings. It warms the cockles of my heart.
John, mate, thanks so much for them questions. Interested to see how people did. See if they got better than me. I felt like I made such an effort to really think about them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you did well. You got what? You got 1.5. I gave you a half for that first
You
question
gave me half, yeah. So I got 1.5.
because you really you analyzed it very well, and it was a total banana peel question.
So good. Such a stupid game, isn't it?
It's so stupid. I love it. I love stupid games like this.
Yeah, really good.
Oh man.
So look, I mean, we're pretty much drifting now to the end of the show. An important thing, and this is very, very, very important. So if there's only one thing you take from this podcast, please remember this. Earlier, I said I was 31, and then Chelsea sent me a text and said, "Did you just say you were 31?" with a laughing face? And I said, "Am I not?" And she said, "No, honey, you're 32." So I've got to that age now. I've got to that age where I'm just like forgetting birthdays and stuff. So it's all right. I remember my dad forgot how old our Jack was, and I give him a hard time for it. But yeah. Well, look, we do say each week we've got message a mate, and we basically just ask for people to send a message to a friend of theirs who they haven't spoke to either in a long time or maybe someone who's gone through a little bit of a hard time. I know only too well how valuable it can be to receive a message from someone. And if they don't text you back, that's okay as well, because sometimes it's hard enough to respond to someone when you're in a little bit of a hole. But please do reach out, stay in touch with people. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, why not pass it on to one of your mates? We do sort of say it every week, but we are trying to grow the pod. And the best way to do that is to get more people listening to the podcast, involved in the podcast, interacting with our social media. And we're just going to grow it. We do have some changes which will be coming to the podcast soon. Don't worry, it's nothing to be scared about. We're going to be here still making hopefully great content for you, and hopefully even better content for you as well. So do keep tuned for that. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's helped the podcast so far. Obviously, John, who's sitting here tonight, Mr. Greenlight himself, he's came on a couple of episodes now. He's been class. Courtney obviously does the Quickfire Forum every week. And not only that, she's doing other work behind the scenes as well to help the podcast improve. And obviously, Jack, who's possibly the busiest man in the world. But look, he loves making this podcast and I love making it with him. So just thanks to you guys, really, the team, the crew, the production for helping it all come together. And thanks to everyone for listening. We're not a massive club at the moment, but we are no doubt your club. So please keep following club football and we'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. That's the song from Friends.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, look at you go.
I know. John and I have got a, we won't reveal too much, but we've got a 90s themed birthday party coming up, John.
Yeah.
Have you got your costume sorted?
Well, I'm kind of born into a 90s costume. I'm a bald white guy with black glasses.
Have you,
it could be either Moby. It could be Moby. It could
Nobody listens to techno.
I could be Michael Stipe from the 90s on. You know, I could put contacts in and eat, gain a few pounds, and I could be either Uncle Fester or I could be Billy Corgan. There's it's endless possibilities for this bald whitey. So,
John, I've just realized, talking of bald men.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Pep Guardiola's Manchester City and their potential financial breach.
Oh, yeah. That's finally coming to a head, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, this is going to be something which I think we're going to follow probably for like the next 3 years on the podcast, because I think it's going to be a long period. But it's very possible that Manchester City may get some sort of either points deduction or
sanctions.
even potential relegation from the Premier League,
Oh my God.
which would be awesome.
It would be fantastic.
It'd be really
And
good.
it would be nice to see some of these financial fair play rules adhered to, or at least enforced.
Yeah.
When you got a team like Liverpool has done so well with, and you look at their net spend every year, it's not much. They're not making a whole lot either, they're just chugging along. But,
it's nice to see, isn't it?
It's incredible
nice to see a little bit of, and look, I obviously don't want them to get sanctions if they haven't broken the rules.
Exactly.
I'm not just after Man City. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just want Man City to just drop off the face of the earth just because. But if they've been naughty like Juventus have been recently, as Courtney mentions in the Quickfire, in the World Roundup, then they should get punished. John, mate, thanks so much for coming on.
Always a pleasure, Tom.
It's been nice, hasn't it?
It has been nice. It's always a nice Tuesday or Wednesday night, just have a couple of drinks, talk with a friend. It's comforting.
It's not a bad life, is it?
Yeah,
and John and I will
bad.
be watching the Philadelphia Eagles in the
God.
Super Bowl on Monday.
I'll sort of be watching it. I'll be like curled in a ball in the corner.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Optimistically depressed the whole time.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it, being a sports fan, mate?
Eagles are favored, so I'm feeling okay. I like our chances.
Who are you playing?
The Kansas City Chiefs, who are coached by longtime Philadelphia Eagles coach Andy Reid. He was the Eagles coach for 14 seasons. He lost us a Super Bowl, and he kind of left town unceremoniously, but still is a beloved figure. So I won't be too upset if the Eagles lose, because it'll be good to see Andy get a second ring, because he already won with KC a couple years ago. But
I'll ask you that when the game's on. You won't care about the Chiefs, mate, when the game's
on. I'm trying to sound magnanimous right now. Okay?
Don't be magnanimous. Don't.
All right, Patrick Mahomes, I hope he gets eaten by a wolf this week. And then I hope...
Imagine that happens.
Just kidding. I don't
Imagine that happens.
I don't think any of that happens. He's a great... See, that's the thing. Like, the Chiefs are a likable team. And apart from their stupid tomahawk chop Native American crap that they do in the crowd, I got no beef with them. So
I think they're trying to drive that out, aren't they?
I think they are. They're trying to get it out of all of it. So it's about friggin' time, too.
Yeah. They probably have to change their franchise name and everything.
Yeah, it would be good. I mean, you could still keep it the Chiefs,
but be
because
more
they don't
respectful.
they don't tokenize Native Americans. They don't have a Native American logo. They have an arrowhead. It is slightly an homage. I mean, I could see it being offensive as well. So I would change the name, though. I'm going to be honest with you. The Chiefs, a little bit I don't know. Unless your mascot went from an arrowhead, like a Native American arrowhead, to like a person that you forgot their name. So you could be like, yeah, we're the Chiefs. Hey there, what's up, Chief? How you doing? It's been a while since I saw you. If it was just
I call people Chief all the time.
I know.
All the time, and I can't work out whether people like it or not, but I do. I do. Beautiful stuff.
I used to not talk to girls when they would chief me. What's
know.
up, Chief? Like, she doesn't remember my name.
Oh yeah, you get chiefed.
You're out. Yeah, getting chiefed? No way.
Me dad hates it when people call him Ace. He hates it with a passion.
I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, you'll like me, Dad. You'll get on with him. John, thanks again, mate, for coming back. It's always great to have Mr. Greenlight on the podcast. Please do keep sending in your messages. If you want to introduce the show, please send us a voice note and intro the show. As I said, we're your club. Please keep coming back. And until Monday, go Eagles!
Fly, Eagles, fly. All right, see you, everybody.
See ya.
Love you all.
Ta-ra, mate.